Lagos. Good morning, Lagos. Good morning, Lagos. This is Overt Radio. We are broadcasting to you live from the city of Lagos. Lagos is a center of excellence. This is the trend table. I will be doing the trend table here along with me this Friday edition. Of my co-anchors are not unavoidably absent this morning. I don't know, maybe the weather or whatever that is going on. I hope that it is well with them wherever they are. But I can tell you they are strong, okay? Nothing has happened to them at all. They are strong. They are very, very strong. Yes, it is the Friday edition of Overt Radio Trend Table, where we bring you what is trending on social media, on the various social media platforms, not only on social media, but also in the country too. But basically, most of the things that we talk about here on Overt Radio Trend Table is what is trending on social media. That is why they call it Trend Table, what is trending on social media. Right, so I will be taking you maybe for the next 1 hour. 12 p.m. the news will be coming up. The media news will be coming up by 12 p.m. And after that, I will come back for the continuation of the Trend Table. All right, this morning, top of my list, a video made rounds. That was on the 29th of July. That was on Wednesday. A video made rounds on the internet, on social media, particularly on X, where a barber in Umuahia, Abia State, was arrested for allegedly gathering hair strands of his customers and sacrificing them to a secret shrine found inside his one-room apartment. So a barber has been arrested in Umuahia. Umuahia is the capital of Abia State. Abia, Umuahia, Adamawa, Yola, Akwa Ibom, Uyo. Okay, yeah. So Umuahia is the capital of Abia State. So a barber arrested in Umuahia, Abia State, for allegedly gathering hair strands of his customers and sacrificing them to a secret shrine found inside his one-room apartment. The first thing that came to my mind was that, oh my God, so all these hairs have been barbing. Where are they been going to? This is Nigeria. You know, the society is I don't know why this part of the world, maybe this can be happening in other society that we don't know, but in this part of the world, I think we are too fetish in this part of the world. Now you are a barber, okay? You are a barber, and you've been gathering all the hair strands of your customers, all the hair strands you've been collecting from your customers. You've been gathering them to sacrifice them to a secret shrine, and that secret shrine is found in your one-room apartment. You can see the condition that this guy has found himself in now. So the first thing that came to my mind is that I've been wondering, that all these hairs have been barbed. Where are they? What are the barber? What are they doing with them? Well, in this part of the world, it takes the grace of God to be alive. Okay, this part of the world, you must involve God in your daily life. Okay, you must involve God in your daily activities wherever you are going. You wake up in the morning, you pray to God for the gift of life, and also you dedicate your life to God, because you don't know who is who in this country. You don't know who is who in this society. Even your neighbors, you don't know who is your neighbor. We don't know who is your landlord or your landlady. So I think that we are this society called Nigeria, this country called Nigeria, this life itself, not even in this world, in this country, but this life itself, it is a life that you can't do life alone. If you think that you being alive is by your power, is by your strength, you are lying. Now, take for instance, this man, Obviously, he's going to use them for witchcraft. He's going to use them for money ritual. What else will he be using hair, his customers' hair strands for? What else will he be using his customers' hair strand for? It's for money ritual. Okay. Now, the funny part of it is that even the craft, even what you are doing, the handwork that you are doing, you don't even believe in your ability, because I think the Bible says that I'm trying to get that particular scripture when it says, whatsoever you do it, he shall prosper. I think it's the book of Psalms. When he says that blessed, I'm trying to know how to start that particular. I'm not a Bible student, so I'm sorry, but I think it's the book of Psalms when he says that whatsoever you do it, he shall prosper. Okay, and the Bible did not say that. The Bible did not specifically mention the type of trade that you will do, you will prosper. It says whatsoever. Okay, whatsoever you do it, you can be a barber, you can be selling pure water, you can be roasting barley on the roadside, you can be selling ice cream, you can be baking bread, you can be a banker, an engineer, a doctor, a broadcaster, a journalist, a reporter, a hairdresser, a stylist, a fashion designer. The Bible says whatsoever you do it, you shall prosper. So I don't know why would this barber, I think I'm going to put on the audio. So I don't know why this barber would be gathering all the hair strands of his customer to sacrifice them, to his secret shrine found inside his war-room apartment. That means you don't believe in what you are doing. Okay, you don't believe in the handwork that God has blessed you with. Because the Bible says that God is a rewarder of those that diligently seek him. In that, even if you are getting 10 customers a day, it is something. But you want to go the extra mile. It is not good at all. So this barber, has been caught, and they've gathered all the hairs of his customers. They gathered it. So of course that's what is going to use them for rituals, for money ritual. That is the only thing. If there's any other thing, I will doubt it. But the primary purpose of what is you want to use these things for is for rituals. So let me take some of the comments that some of the people that commented on that video. This particular person says, FX says, I beg you won't make they get trust issue with my barber. Of course, that was the first thing that came to my mind, that all these hairs have been barbing. Where are these people, this barber? Where are they keeping it? Are they burning it? Are they throwing it away? So I think it also calls for concern. It also calls that you should be concerned about where these things are going. So because I grew up in a family, so I each time I think about my family, I'm always thankful for the family that God has put me. I'm always thankful for the family that God has put me. My uncles, they don't go to barbing. It has been long they go to barbing salon. And this thing, I just didn't even understand why they stopped going to barbing salon. My uncles at home, it has been long. These people, they go to barbing salon. So whenever they want to barb, they will call the barber to come and barb them at home. So could it be maybe it's one of those things why they decided not to go to the barbing salon again? But we have and one thing about my family, one thing about the people I grew up with at home is that they've always maintained one barber. Since 1994, when I came to Lagos, there's this particular barber that used to barb my uncles, and this person has been barbing them for more than since 1994 up to now. How many years is that? This barber, his name is Dolakbo. I'm proud to call his name here on the air. His name is Dolakbo, and they've maintained this particular barber for decades. And all of a sudden, about 5 to 6, 7, 10 years ago, they stopped going to the barbing salon. So whenever their hair is due to trim down, they will call Dolakbo, and Dolakbo will help them to trim down their hair, and they'll take the hair, and so the hair, their hair, they flush it. That's what they do to the hair. They flush it. And I don't have the luxury of that. I don't have that time to be calling the barber, because obviously the time they barb their hair is not the same period of time I barb my hair. So my uncles, if they barb their hair this month, before they will barb their hair again maybe the next 2-3 months. But me I barb my hair like maybe every 2 weeks, every two weeks, so I don't have the luxury of time to be waiting for when by the barber. How much am I ever earning that I'll be doing home service that I'll be calling barber to come and barb my hair? Yes, trust issues is now another thing. This is a very valid point that this gentleman, this particular individual, this ex-user raised. He says, I beg, you won't make I dey get trust issue with my barber. Okay, so we must be very, very careful. I'm not saying that all barbers out there, they are fetish or they are into one thing or the other. No. And also even the barber that my former place where I was, at a mode of him before I relocated to a new place now, I've always known this barber for a very long time. So one thing you should be careful about is don't just go to any barber shop just because, no, be observant. Okay, be observant. Always maintain one particular individual that you'll be doing things with. If you are a hairdresser, if you are a female, always maintain a particular hairdresser or hairstylist, so that also, even if you move to a new environment, study before you start patronizing any barber or hairdresser or stylist, or even a tailor. Study them, because this thing right now that happened, this barber that was caught, allegedly, gathering customers' hair strands to sacrifice. This is a very big lesson. Okay, it's not, jokes apart. It calls for one to be, to be vigilant, because of the society that we are in today. It calls for one to be vigilant because of the society that we are in today. And another comment says, this is Zena. Zena says, the hairs way in collect now poor man hair. Tell me why he never make them. You see, not that they are poor people's hair, but there are some fetish venture that you will go into. Maybe the herbalist has promised you that if you do this you get rich, but you've not broken the ceiling yet. Okay, this is Cosval. Cosval says, God, I beg you, to barb ordinary hair isn't even safe anymore. You see, the world is really coming to an end. The world, not even the world, this thing has been happening since, not just because this particular person was caught. This thing has been happening since. You don't know whose hair they've used for ritual, for any other thing. So it calls, number one, this is a very serious life lesson. Yes, you may take things like this lightly. You might not be suspecting your barber. I'm not saying that your barber, to our listeners, I'm not saying that your barber is is in the category of this particular gentleman that was caught. But anywhere you find yourself, be observant. The place you go to eat, be observant. Don't do things carelessly, because life is no duplicate. Okay, where you eat, where you buy clothes from, the place you stay to relax, particularly where you eat, the things that you take into your body, wherever you are getting them for, be observant. That is one thing I'm grateful for in my family, that we were taught to be observant in whatever we are doing, particularly the things we eat. That is the family I come from. I am proud of my family that we were taught, wherever you want to eat, always look around, look at the environment, look at the surrounding. Is it healthy enough? Yes, the meat seller or the pepper seller or the yalunje might not be fetish or whatever thing, but look at the environment. How neat is it? How hygienic it is. My uncle will always talk about hygiene. So wherever you are doing things, either you buy, even the malam that you buy tomato from, the onion seller that you buy tomato from, those people that hawk things on the road, always don't just stop somebody to buy things from. Have these second thoughts in your mind. Don't just even me, when I'm at the office, I don't buy things that are cooked. Like when I say things that I cook, like rice, beans, swallow, I don't do that. The only thing when I come to the office, when I'm hungry, I buy akara or snacks. That is what I eat during the day when I'm at the office. And the place I buy akara here in the studio, they've been since I've been working in this area. They've been here for a very long time. It was their mother that started the akara. Maybe something happened to her. Maybe she died, or I don't know. But her children now took over the akara business, from her. So I'm always observant wherever I am. That is one of the lessons of life. That wherever you find yourself, you got a job at a new place. Before you start eating from that environment, always observe the cleanliness, the hygiene, how hygienic is the place. Are people coming to patronize her? People that are coming to patronize her, are they genuine? What the staff that is working with her, are they genuine? Are they, so those are the things that's life. So this particular gentleman that was caught, gathering people's hair allegedly gathering people's hair for ritual. This particular gentleman that was caught, it is a lesson for everybody, particularly the men and also the women who at every time visit the barbing salon or the hairdressing salon to get their hair done. So let us be observant. The world that we find ourselves in now is not a world that we will live carelessly, because you don't know what will happen. Time and chance, they say, happens to them all. So whatever you do as an individual, particularly when it comes to food, okay, always make sure that the environment you are eating from, where you buy your food from, even at the markets, people you buy things from. I've always maintained one customer, where I buy things from, at the market, where I buy grains, where I buy food stuff. It is always that person. Even the new place that I moved into, I've been patronizing him for quite some time now. And so always be observant when you go out to do things. Okay, you don't just live carelessly. No, you don't just live carelessly. If a new malam starts frying things across the street, don't just go there because people are patronizing him. Observe before you go there. Don't because of fried yam or fried akara or akara, you now know you are a spirit being. I don't want to be religious now, please. So in whole essence, what I'm trying to say is, whatever you are doing outside, be observant. Be observant, be wise as serpent, and be gentle as dove. The word is enough for the wise. Let me take another comment. It is 48 minutes gone past the hour of 11 o'clock. This is Silas Onyedikachi Happiness. She said, a long time ago, Silas, this is a male, but I'm seeing a female picture here. A long time ago when I was barbing my hair, okay, thank God, it's a male. A long time ago when I was barbing my hair, if the barber finished cutting it, I put the strands inside a nylon. I don't want hair any. I don't want hear any story. Okay, this is Silas saying that each time, a long time ago. So he has been doing this. So whenever the barber finishes with his hair, he collects the strands and go home with it. Because like I said, the society we live in now is dangerous. A dangerous society. So this is coming from Onyecha Emeka. What are they saying in the video is entirely different, okay? If he committed a crime, he will be charged for it, but you can't charge for having a shrine of any kind in their house. And the question is, why are you having a shrine in your house? Okay? Your worship center, okay, maybe it depends, but having a shrine in your house, I think the police should swing into this. The authorities should properly investigate before we start casting blames on the individual. So but why is he having shrine in his house? Is he a religious, is he a traditionalist? You a barber? So what would the barber be doing? Although I understand that there are some people, they have shrine in their house, but so the investigation now will now be the shrine that he has in his one room apartment. Is it connected to what he's doing? Is it connected to the strands of hair that they discovered in his apartment? So that is another thing again. Okay, and Onyecha Emeka raised a valid point there. Okay, this is Omo Baba Dennis. A whole Abia State Police Command has no other job than to be running after a poor Baba. Shame on this, you. I'm sure you casted him because he couldn't bribe you. Okay, so we don't know what happened. Okay, we don't know what was in the caption of the video. Was that a Baba was arrested for allegedly gathering hair strands of his customers and sacrificing them, to a secret shrine found inside his room apartment. So that is the investigation on that is pending. So let me just read this last comment. I will take a music break, and that music break will take us to the midday news here on Overt Radio. Let me take one or two comments before I go for that music break, which will lead us to the news. All right, this is coming from Kelux. Kelux says, "Lowe's, which rubbish shrine can't do shit? He's just accumulating garbage. His condition is not different from those that play bets. Just hope and frustrations." All right, this is coming from Voice. Voice says, "Now, wow, this is one reason why I prefer home service. This might be one of those ritual things some people do for customer loyalty and fast money. Those barber shops that always have long queues. Some allegedly keep people's hair so clients stay attached and keep coming back. Could be why certain people unknown to them will only barb at one place, especially on every week, and refuse to go anywhere else if the barber isn't around or travel." Yes, it also happens to me. Okay, if my barber is not around, I don't barb until he comes back. I always prefer one barber because he knows the kind of style I do. Because if you give your hair to another barber, the person might spoil it. Not all barbers knows how to style or cut your hair the way you want it, despite the fact that you will tell them this is the style I want, but it will not fit. But this is normal. This is normal. There are some people that always, like my pastor has been maintaining one particular barber for a very, very long time. Even if he travels and if he's back, this same barber. So there are some people that they can't do without their barber. If their barber is not around, they will not barb until their barber comes back, okay, before the barb. So this is normal. Just like me, I maintain one barber. If my barber is not around, and I've even been trying it, if I go to another place to barb, that barber will not get the hair, the correct style that I want. Okay, I don't keep hair, I just do low cut. But there's a way that low cut will be trimmed. It will fit you. But if you go to another place, so that is that. All right. So so what we are, either this person was caught on the act or not. Either this barber is using his customer's hair strand for ritual purposes or for whatever fetish purpose. Okay. Either he's doing it or he's not doing it. The most important thing is be observant when you do things outside. Okay, be observant. This is the society that we find ourselves in. Be observant where you eat. Be observant where you buy food stuff. Be observant when you are in the bus. Be observant. That's the most important thing. Okay, that's just the most important thing. Be observant. Whether your barber is a good one, is a Christian, is a Muslim, is somebody that does not do mago. No. Whether he's not. Be observant. I even saw a video. There was a video that was posted a few weeks ago about an hairdresser washing someone's hair, and the remnant from the hair, she put it in her apron, in the pocket of her apron. So it's everywhere. It's everywhere. Okay, it's everywhere. So we are until investigation is completed. But the most important thing that I want our listeners to get to go home with this afternoon, this particular story that I've shared, this particular trending video, is that wherever you find yourself, be observant. Okay, your life is very, very important. Don't live life carelessly. Wherever you find yourself, be observant. Where you eat, be observant. The place you buy food, be observant. The place you buy things to eat into your body, be observant. The marketplace where you buy things from, be observant. In the bus, be observant. Be conscious of your environment. That's the moral of the story. Be conscious of your environment. All right, Lagos. After the music break, 12 p.m. the midday news. I'll bring the midday news here on Overt Radio 12 p.m. Then after the midday news, I will continue with the Trendtable, the Friday edition of Overt Radio Trendtable. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. I'll be back.